All right, there we go. I'm going to mute. I'm going to mute again. Hold on. There we go. And then I'm going to share my screen. So bear with us here for a second. All right, so we're going in now to the advanced getting started. And there's a couple of goals that we have here. So we want to help you set up your subscription, set up direct deposit, walk you through a customer conversion, which we already did, and then leverage future orders. So that's really going to be kind of our focus over here. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is your brand partner timeline. And this would be for, well, obviously you. So hopefully if you're new, you have really walked through this and somebody's kind of helping you with these steps. But it's definitely what we want to be doing with our new people, because when somebody joins us, we are now a steward of their business. And so we want to make sure that we are doing our best to start them appropriately and make sure that they get all the tools that they need in their toolbox to have the success that they are looking for, right? They trusted us. So our job is to make sure we take care of them. So the first thing that we're going to do when somebody enrolls, we want to make sure that they get trained on boards. That's going to be best one-on-one. So I'm always happy to help. So if you need some help with boards, if you've got somebody on your team that needs some help with boards and you want to do kind of a separate training, again, text me. I'll share my number again, but we will help with that. But boards makes our life so much easier, and it sets people up for success. But it does take a minute to understand. And so one of the first things that I see when I do kind of the first training with people is that they don't really know how to use boards, and it makes their life a little bit more complicated because they're not sure how to use it, and it can get a little frustrating. So we want to make sure that it's installed properly, that they have our scripts and they know how to use it. So that's going to be step one. Step two is we want to make sure that their Facebook is in professional mode, because that's going to allow them to schedule. We all get busy. We all get distracted. We all have other things on our plate. Like, I don't think anybody is sitting around just playing on Facebook all day, or at least they shouldn't be, right? And so being able to schedule those posts is going to make their lives easier, make our lives easier. Next, we want to make sure that they're in our business groups. So they're in Partner Co-Nation. They're in Level Up Life. They have Telegram so that they know how to connect with us and they see when the trainings are, so that you're not having to constantly remind them, hey, today's Wednesday, there's a Zoom tonight, or hey, there's a sale on this product, or hey, there's a Super Saturday. If you connect them to the resources, they can see it themselves. And then make sure that you're sharing the IPA Zoom with them. That, I think, is a game changer for so many people. And so highly recommend that you get your people on the IPA Zoom. Now, next, when people start moving those boxes, right? They're dancing in the kitchen. We're all excited about it. That $50 is a game changer. And not just because it's $50, right? Like, you throw all the 50s at me all day long. That is super exciting. But it also cements them into the business where they realize, oh my gosh, this is real. I can really get paid with this. But even bigger than that is that box that went out in somebody's hands is a person that is looking to benefit from this product. This is a person that has some hopes and they have some aspirations and they want something from us. So we want to make sure that we are training our people to follow up with those people so that we don't leave people on the wayside, that they wanted something, but they didn't get it because the person that gave it to them didn't know how to help. Right? So we want to make sure that once people are moving boxes, I say at least 4, because usually they're going to do that in their first couple of days. That's when we want to walk them through that customer conversion timeline that we just went through. So we're going to share with them, week 1 is love. Week 2 is a phone call. We're going to call them and we're going to walk them through that conversion. And the first few, you might be the one that's doing most of the talking, and they're just doing a little bit of the celebrating because they've never walked through that slide deck before. So you can help them with that. But we want to make sure that they understand that customer flow so that they know what to do on week 1. They know what to do on week 2. If somebody doesn't purchase on week 2, they know on week 3 that we're going to follow up and we're going to ask, We're going to reach out and say, well, maybe they didn't have a win or we didn't connect with them on week 2. Week 3, we're going to say you're almost out of drops. Consistency is key. You want to hear your options for your next box. And when they say yes, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab that third-party credibility and we're going to show that slide deck. So same exact process. Then once somebody is gold and ultimate, we want to confirm that they have their subscription set up. Without that subscription, they can't get paid. Without that subscription, they can't leverage their next order. And then we also want to make sure that they are enrolled in direct deposit so that they know how to get that paycheck. And so if you do not know how to set up your subscription and you don't know how to figure out which week or all of that, well, then you want to make sure that you're connecting so that we can help you with all of that. And then we want to make sure that they are leveraging that next order into their team. And so what that looks like, if you guys don't already know, if you are gold and ultimate already, your next order, so that next 10 pack that order that you're placing, you want to place that under somebody that you personally sponsor in your organization. And so what I personally do is I call one of my customers and I say, Mary Jo, so excited. I know you're loving these drops. Listen, you may not ever want to do the business, but you may want to benefit from it someday. I have an order that would actually activate your account and get you completely qualified for you to get paid for the first 4 weeks that you're getting started. Would you be open to me getting your information and placing that underneath you? So it's a way that you get a new brand partner, they get a spot in the business, but you're going to earn an extra $150 if it's a 10 pack, because the company is going to then pay you that new order bonus on that. So we want to make sure that your new people know how to do that. And then once somebody starts a team, we're going to show them how to check the volume so they know where to place their next order, who they need to be connecting with, and how they can strategically grow their team. So direct deposit and subscription. Normally, I have one that I have set up here that I can show you, and I'm not sure if I have an ID. So give me just 1 second here, because I know that I can do this. So hold on 1 second. I don't think that contact's going to help us. Okay, so we're going to go try to do this real quick. So bear with me here for a second, guys. Okay, perfect. Love it when it works out. Let's see if we've got it already. So if you've got somebody or you need to set up your subscription, hopefully we can get this open. And I can't see anybody. So Jennifer, if you're still here, if you could unmute and just let me know that you're seeing that the office is open. I can't see you, but if you could unmute and say something.
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. So
I
you
see
see,
your books.
all right, beautiful. Okay, so here, this is how we're going to set up a subscription. Now this one is out of qualification, I believe. Yes. And so they haven't had an order. So it makes it a little bit different. Normally it's going to tell you, you are the blue week, you are the green week, and you would just pick that in here. But with this one, I'm just going to add a new subscription and I'm going to go ahead and pick products. So I'll tell you, my personal advice to people is to get something outside of the drops. Because if you're buying drops, you're already getting them cheaper. If you just buy one box here, it's going to be $122.95. When you buy them in bulk, you're getting them for under $100. So I say find something else that you love. So I usually recommend a superfood plus something else. So like a Renew and Elite is kind of a favorite. We'll go ahead and put Limu and Renew because that's a favorite here, but just pick a combination. I typically do Renew and a superfood is my personal favorite, but we want to make sure in order to get paid that it's 100 PV. Now, if somebody just wants a discount, it can be 1 PV. You can pick the cheapest product that you can find, maybe the probiotics or something like that, the face wash, and the smallest PV that you can, and that will allow them to get a discount. Now, it's going to tell you the color typically, but I don't have it here. So it's based on when your start date is. So let's say if you were the green week, you just want to make sure that you pick the next green week for your subscription, and I don't know if I got it. Okay, so it's going to give me the next green week, but it's going to tell you normally this one's a little wonky. But if you ever have any struggle with that, call customer support. They will say, they'll help you to figure out which week is your qualified. But I just go based on the color and go from there. It's going to automatically name it your address, and you can leave it at that. And then you would just close down the order. You're going to continue. It's going to look like it's charging you right this minute, but it's not going to charge you until that week. So just keep that in mind that you will not see it there. Now, the next thing that we want to make sure that we do in here is to set up your direct deposit. So we do that under My Money and then Partner Copay. And we're going to click on Partner Copay again. And you want to make sure you go down to direct deposit and it says 100, I said 1,000, but 100%. Okay. Now, a lot of times people will leave that as 0, and then the check that will get deposited will be 0% of their check. So you want to make sure that you make that 100. You're going to fill in all of your banking information. You're going to have to add it, and then you're going to have to submit. I feel like there's 4 times that you've got to really confirm, but you have to realize it's banking. And so they're going to make sure that your account number is right, that you confirm it right, you confirm your routing. Like all of that has to be submitted and then confirmed. So make sure that you're reading through and you're submitting each step in that process. So that's how you set up the direct deposit and your subscription. We're going to go back over here and we're going to go on to our team. So we already talked about this a little bit in the basic getting started, but that is this little button right here where it says start here. Now this is critical because it's going to send them a link for the Slenderized board. It's going to show them how to install it on their phone. It's going to tell them a little bit about how to post. It's going to install Telegram. It's going to give them all of the different tools. It's going to invite them to Partner Conation, and then it's going to ask them to connect with us so that we have their information. So as your team grows, sometimes people can fall through the cracks, and you might not get that getting started right with them. You might not get boards right that minute, once your team starts expanding. So what I would say is day 1, send this to them, but then set up that boards training with them so that they have the tools and then you can do the training. So it's kind of giving you that support behind the scenes so nobody gets, falls by the wayside. So that's going to be there. Now, the next step is, how do you know where to place people? That's probably the number one question I get from people is, I just enrolled somebody. Where do I put them on my team? How do I know? So I'm going to tell you, this is what I look at. And depending on the age of your business, like if you're brand new, you might have to go back to the previous week to look at volume. But what I do is I go down to My Money, and then I go down to volume. I'm pointing at the computer with my finger. You can't see that. So I'm going to point right here. So we're going to go to My Money. We're going to go to volume. And that's going to open up a volume report. Now, most people are going to start with 2 legs. This one has 3. It doesn't really make a difference. What you're looking for is the lower number. And I say this is pink, but we're going to call it red. The red line, I'm going to say that means stop. Don't place your next person in that red line because that is your power line. We want to put your next person in a pay line. And so that's green over here. But if you're brand new, you might only have 1 line. So then you would place it in the next line. Okay, you'd start a new line, your line 2. So for most people, I'm going to recommend start with 2 lines and we're going to grow there, grow there, grow there, till the numbers get bigger. As you can see, this is a business that's optimizing, and that's why they started that 3rd line. But for most people, you're going to be starting with 2. Don't place on that red line, place in the green line. And that's how you know where to place. Now, the next thing I look at here is I want to know what's going on in my hive. So I am going to click on these numbers. Those are links. So if you click on that, it's going to open up a volume report that's going to show you the people on your team. I've got a bunch of rock stars. It's going to show you the people on your team and what orders they're placing, right? So we've got Whitney here. She ordered 2 10 packs, it looks like, because I'm looking at these numbers over here. And that tells me, are they running the system of growth or did they get distracted? We all get distracted. Okay. We all do. But when I start seeing funky numbers, so like this one, 600 PV, I know that they ordered maybe a 10 pack, but then they got 100 PV as something else, which is okay. I'm not discouraging them, but I just want to make sure, like, hey, what you're sharing with the public is the drops, right? We always start with drops because that's going to help people be able to make a decision faster. It's going to help people get on board. And then once they're in the system, we're going to share the other products, right? So we don't want to distract people with too many options, but this is a key that I can see, okay, what are my people doing? Okay, so in this volume report, I look at a couple things. I look at their PV for the order. So here was 2 10 packs. Here's a 10 pack and something else. If I'm really nosy, I'm going to click on details. I'm going to see what else did Kate order, right? I'm going to see what else she wanted. And then same with Aretha. I'm going to say, okay, she's 576. And I can see, well, she got a 10 pack and then an extra drop. So she spent about $25 extra on that box. So there's just a little training moment where I can call and say, hey, congratulations. Looks like you're moving drops. Just want you to know that if you need 11 boxes, let's figure out, maybe we take some pre-orders so you can order a 4-pack. Let's do some different things so you can save the full amount. So that's going to be one conversation. The other thing that I'm going to look at here is the email address, because as we can see, Whitney's email is whitney@sing.net. So I can be fairly confident that this is Whitney's email and she ordered these drops for herself. But down here, we've got Kate Bush, and the email is Josh Smith. And you guys can see what generation I grew up with by the rock stars that I picked for my names. But Josh Smith ordered boxes under Kate. So I know that I need to reach out. I'm going to jot down Josh's name because he's growing so much that he's leveraging orders under somebody else. So that's the person that I want to reach out to. Maybe not Kate, because she might be brand new and she might not need to hear from me just yet, but Josh does. And then Aretha, okay, she's growing. This is for her. So that's what I look at under the volume report. And then from there, the next thing that I look at in my back office so that I can make sure that I'm helping people is the striking distance report. And this is going to show me who's close to doing something. They're either close to rank advancing, or they're close to reaching gold and ultimate, or their time is almost up. So what I personally do, I sort by the week and I look at week 3. Now I do this every week. So my week 1s and my week 2s, I'm going to see them. If you're just starting, I would say start with week 4 and I'm muted. Hold on. We're going to figure this out. And my phone's ringing. Sheila, are you on here helping me? Okay, thank you. That's what you call teamwork, guys. So thank you. I guess I don't know how I got muted, but I guess I did. So let me go back to this screen. Thank you for that.
I'm so sorry. I think I bumped it trying to take a picture.
Oh, well, perfect.
And I tried to get you to unmute, but it wouldn't even click it. I'm so sorry.
Well, that's okay. I'm just glad that you shook your head enthusiastically and I saw it. And then Sheila saved the day good too. So we're good now. So I don't know how much I was talking when I was muted, but this is the striking distance report. And I jump in here to see where else I can help. So I personally look at week 3 and I look at week 3 every single week because I already then it's not too close to week 4, right? I've got a little bit of time to work with people. But if you haven't reached out to people yet, I would start with week 4 because this is crunch time. And then I would work your way back. So because they only have 4 Fridays in order to reach gold and ultimate. So we want to make sure we get everybody in there. And so what I do is I sort by the week and I look at a couple of different things. So I look at their volume and their business level, and I am jotting down names. So if they're already ultimate, I'm going to call them and congratulate them. So I'm going to write down those names. If they're not ultimate, I'm going to see what PV they need in order to get there. And I'm going to jot that down as well. And I go through here and I work with that for everybody. And I make myself some lists because these are people that I'm going to work with. So that's what this one is. This is my connecting calls. So I do this weekly and I reach out to everybody that has made it to week 3, but they're not ultimate yet. And so I say, oh my goodness, Mary Jo, because Mary Jo is doing everything. You are 192 PV from achieving gold and ultimate. Do you know what that means? And she might not. So I'm going to say, okay, well, what that means is you're going to get paid at the highest level that you possibly can with Partner Co. So 1 4-pack of drops is going to get you there. Is there anything I can do to help you with that? Does she need, some conversations with some prospects, whatever it looks like. So we're going to help her achieve that. Maybe she needs to place her next order, whatever it looks like. We're just going to have a conversation. The next call that I'm going to make is anybody that's achieved ultimate, but I haven't met. They've already moved 30 boxes, or at least they've ordered them, and we haven't connected yet. So I want to make sure that I'm reaching out to them and connecting with them, congratulating them, welcoming them, saying, woohoo, great work. You may not know this, but you are at the pinnacle of our company. Congratulations. And we probably need to get a drop talk in your neck of the woods. So how can we move to that? And then the next set of calls is anybody like that Josh Smith that was ordering under Kate. I'm going to say, hey, Josh, I see that you hit gold, you hit ultimate, and you're still ordering under other people. Congratulations. Tell me a little bit about your business. Have you hosted a drop talk yet? Can I help you with some of your conversion calls? Like what's going on in your business so that we can help them thrive? Okay. And so the last thing I'm going to talk about here, and we're running a little long, sorry about that, but is customer appreciation / drop talk events. And with a thriving group, we want thousands of these going on everywhere. And I'm going to tell you, you do not need anybody there with you. I would recommend that you try to find a running mate, somebody that's local nearby that you guys can just kind of bounce back and forth with each other. That'll make it a little bit easier. But you don't need a Coach Palmer there. You don't need an Andrea Rosser there. You don't need these different leaders coming in. All you need is a box of drops, some customers that have used them, and invite them over. And I would recommend to your home. And doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter anything. Like people are like, oh, my house is noisy or whatever. It's not fancy, or who cares? Your friends know where you live. So we're going to invite them into your place, and we are going to have a customer appreciation or drop talk event. And this isn't the time where you become a product expert, where you're like, oh, let me tell you the science behind. No. This is a short event where you celebrate the wins of the people on the products. You walk them through that slide deck, and you work to convert them either to buying another box, to enrolling in the business, or partnering up with you, right? And becoming a part of your team. So what does that look like? They come over. The first 10 minutes is just a social event. Welcome, great to see you. So glad you're here. We're going to chit chat. You might give them a little bottle of water, maybe have a little munchie, some carrots. I don't care. Nothing crazy. We want this simple so that they come in and say, oh, I can do what you did, right? So 10 minutes of milling around. Then you're going to welcome them over to whatever your screen is. So maybe you're gathering around at a coffee shop in front of an iPad. Maybe it's your home television. Doesn't matter. We just want them to be able to see that slide deck that is on boards. And you're going to say that same presentation that I walked you through just a little bit ago. This is Partner Co. And they're the company that brings the drops to the market. They actually have over 100 different products. All the products go through the same process. I'm not going to walk you through the whole thing again, but you're just going to walk them through the slide deck. And then anybody in the room that has had a success with the drops. Okay, so you've been using it. What have you seen? Oh my gosh, I lost 3 pounds and I don't have night sweats anymore. Congratulations. Great job. I'm so excited for you. Okay, what have you seen? Well, you know what? My mood is so much better. My husband's not driving me nuts anymore. Oh my gosh, that's the biggest win we can possibly imagine. And then we're going to keep going around the room for the people there that are winning. You might share how you won, right? And then you're going to ask people, which of the 3 options do they want? Do they want another box from you? You're saving them $50. You're putting some money in your pocket. Everybody's happy. Or do they want to get a membership? $29.95. They can get their next box of drops shipped directly to them. They won't have to worry about connecting with you. It'll go right to them. Or 3, they can get an even deeper discount, pay that $29.95 and get a 4-pack where if they've got some bigger goals, that's going to carry them through for their goals, but they'll pay about $100 a box. Or you can even show them at a later date, not here, how they can share them to get their product for free and let them choose. And that's it for the drop talk. So it's maybe 30 minutes maximum because we want to give people time to chit chat. The magic is in the mingle. And so we want people to connect with us and chit chat. And I would say one of the biggest pitfalls that we'll see, and I know this because I've done it, so don't think I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me too, where I love all of our products. If I was to carry you over to the kitchen, you would see pretty much everything that Partner Co has to offer in there. And what I'll do is if I have people over, I pull all those products out, I display them all over my table, and I'm like, look at everything we have. And I just confused everybody. And I just told them that this one product can't make a difference. They need this, plus this, plus this, plus this, right? And I just made a small decision into a big decision, and I slow everything down. So I would say have your drop talks, have your customer appreciation, have your hormones and health, but have them around the drops. Now, afterwards in the mingle, when somebody's already chosen to get started, they're already in the system. If they say, well, could you tell me about something to help me with in a side conversation? And you know that the answer to that question is whatever, MOA or Limu or Renew, I don't care, whatever it is. Well, in that side conversation, yeah, absolutely tell them, but not from the front of the room and not until they're already involved in some way. So that's going to be it. And we're actually going to close this out without some questions because I am 6 minutes late for my next Zoom and I'm asking for grace and they're calling me. But I'm going to stop my share. Hopefully everybody can grab a picture of that phone number if you don't have it already, and it's in the chat. And I will answer all the questions that I can. You can message me, text me. I apologize for running a little bit long, but I do want to thank you all for being here and for being a part and just letting me play a small